All right. Hello and welcome to this complimentary training. My name's Chris Badgett, and today we're going to be talking about how to create high value certification programs online. We're going to look at the engagements engine of LifterLMS. There's a lot of awesome new features that rolled out in LifterLMS 6.0. So I'm really excited to get into it with you today. For those of you that are just joining, go ahead and let us know where you're calling in from in the chat. I can see Jenny. Jenny just jumped in here. Rachel's in the house. Welcome, Rachel. A bunch of people continuing to flow into the call. Hello. Hello. Also, let us know in the chat if you use certificates. Do you have an online certification aspect to your courses or your membership site? Who uses certificates? Would love to hear what you use them for. Maybe you're thinking about using them. A lot of the LifterLMS 6.0 features are related to that. So just let us fire away in the chat. Emily's got her hand up. Awesome. Rachel says we issue certificates for all of our courses, as a lot of courses count towards professional development. Absolutely. Some of the most successful people with LifterLMS in terms of financial revenue have a continuing education certification aspect to the online learning platform that they're creating. So that's awesome. Lindsay is getting ready to add certificates. Awesome. You're in the right place. Chris has an arrangement with a professional body. Awesome. Jack's here. Hey, Jack. Also interested in the gamification. Awesome. Cool. All right. And then just as a general question, before I get into it, if you would, let me know your biggest interest or challenge around gamification or engagement. Like, what are you hoping to do? What problem are you hoping that adding a certificate or somehow making your courses more engaging will solve? I would just love to hear the challenge that brings you to gamification and things like certificates and achievement badges. Like, what interests you? What's the challenge or what's the opportunity you're trying to take advantage of? So let us know in the chat, and we're going to jump into it. So again, my name is Chris from LifterLMS. This is a complimentary training on how to create an online certification program. We're going to be going deep into LifterLMS 6.0. We're monitoring the chat and the Q&A box here on Zoom. If you're watching this presentation on YouTube while it's live, or even after in the replay, feel free to drop a comment down below. We are going to get to every question. So this is going to be an interactive session. So please feel free to use the chat, use the Q&A box, ask questions as we go, and we'll get into all that stuff. So we also do have a special offer for you today. So as part of the LifterLMS 6.0 and the launch here and being on this live webinar, if you use the coupon code SMILE18 on any new order, and that code is going to be valid through the end of this week, basically through the end of Friday, you're going to save 18% off your first year of any new order, which is, LifterLMS has these individual add-ons, and then we have the two bundles, the Universe bundle and the Infinity bundle. So if you're not yet a LifterLMS customer, this is a great time to make a move and pick up LifterLMS at a discount. Thanks a lot for the great interaction in the chat and the questions and the challenges you folks are putting in there. I appreciate that. So let's get into it. There, by the way, since it always gets asked, this is being recorded, and we are going to send out a replay video. So if for whatever reason you have to jump or can't stay all the way to the end, you will get the replay. But I would encourage you, to stay to the end, because we are going to be doing a giveaway. So we're going to give away a $120 add on the first year of one of those, or you can apply it towards one of the bundles. So we're going to draw from the people that are with us at the end live on the call. I see a lot of familiar faces and names. Helmut, welcome to the call. We've got Mark who just jumped in, a bunch of people continuing to join. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first thing I want to do is just share what LifterLMS 6.0 is all about. I'm actually going to drop a blog post in there in terms of what it is. I'm going to share my screen with you, and then we're going to actually get into a live site and start building certificates and things like that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So if you haven't read this post, go ahead. I'm not going to go through this post with you right now. We've got a quick like 6-minute demo video here. This goes into like the nitty-gritty details. We're going to cover pretty much all of this today, but I just want you to know that this resource is out there for you. And essentially what LifterLMS 6.0 is all about is an overhaul to the LifterLMS engagements system, particularly around certificates, but also around the achievement badges we have. And we introduced a lot of new things like templating options so you can better manage certificates, and also modify those templates later, award certificates manually, make changes or corrections later to already awarded certificates. There's a ton of new features, which we're going to get into here in a second in an actual live demo. You can see what I've got here is a demo site. One of the ways that LifterLMS helps people make a decision on what they're going to move forward with is to provide it's cost $1. This is our demo site. I've got a certificate here that you can see, but essentially if you want to play around with all these features and you haven't yet got LifterLMS yet, we'll put a link in the chat to get LifterLMS. We call it a sandbox site. It costs $1. Just that's the cost for us to kind of host it and keep it live. But it's a temporary website for 30 days that has all the LifterLMS tech installed, all the content, demo content, all our add-ons so that you can basically test drive before you buy. So even if you're already a customer, if you don't have everything that LifterLMS makes, or perhaps you do, but you haven't really used all the features and you want to see a site that already has a lot of that stuff set up, go check out the $1 demo site. So we're going to get into this site in a second, but essentially if you haven't thought about using certificates, I know we have a lot of people on the call who are using certificates. These are some of the most popular ways that we see people in the LifterLMS community using certificates. And even if you don't think certificates are relevant to you, they very well might be. So some of the most popular are degree programs. So if you can award a certificate on completion of a course, but you can also put a bunch of courses together that once people complete, they earn a degree. LifterLMS has a feature called tracks that allows you to kind of trigger that certificate based on the completion of a group of courses. So remote universities and colleges, online high schools, and adult learning, like for example, we'll put a link to this in the chat. This is the LifterLMS case studies. We also call them success stories. But Neil, as an example down here, he uses certificates for high school equivalency kind of learning programs that he runs in different states in the United States. So this is kind of a school example of using certificates. There's also for-profit continuing education companies. Like on here, we've got Jenny Jones, who I think is on this call. She has a teaching company for a certain niche of people who need to have be certified and have a certain level of understanding. I believe she uses certificates. So that's like a continuing education company. So sometimes that may be mandatory or it's something that people have to do to keep their license. There's another LifterLMS user who does these certificates for people that are required to take certain courses based on what happened in the court system. So there's all different kinds of uses there, but really you can gamify any learning site. So I've seen people just make up certificates, just they're using them more for fun. It's less serious. It's just a gamification element to, you know, collect achievement badges, get a certificate. So it doesn't always have to be like this super serious thing. So you can also just use certificates to inject a little fun and some dopamine hits as people are going through the training or complete courses or groups of courses. The other thing I see people use certificates for is really to justify higher course or membership pricing. So for example, if I was going to teach you about marketing, I might create some training courses about that. But then by creating a certificate like the, Badget social media marketing degree or whatever, by creating a certificate, that might actually help somebody who goes through the training and gets, Badget marketing certified to be able to display that certificate of completion so that that person could then get marketing clients for themselves and demonstrate a level of competency and that kind of thing. So you may have certification opportunities that you haven't thought of yet. So I'd encourage you just to, if you're not using them yet, or you're not using achievement badges, to consider it, even if it doesn't seem obvious at first. So let's go back to this site here. I'm just going to go into the back end of WordPress for a second. And you can see over here, let me see if I can zoom that in there. You'll notice it looks a little different in here if you're used to using LifterLMS. At a high level, LifterLMS has an engagement engine, which basically allows you to set a triggering event that's going to cause something to happen, like a certificate or an achievement badge. So you can see we have all these different triggering events, like passing a quiz or completing a course or completing a certain lesson and more. These are all things that we can tie into to create a certificate to fire, and also achievement badges. We've also got, what's new here, if you're used to LifterLMS, is this concept of awarded certificates and achievements. So if I want to go in and edit a certificate that's already been awarded to this user, I can jump in there and edit an awarded certificate. So just as an example, this is all stuff that I can get into. Maybe I had a spelling error. Maybe I changed my signature. Maybe the person's last name changed and they emailed you and they're wanting to update their certificate. You can now do all that stuff. So let's look at it kind of from the main area here. So here is one that has been created. So this is a young retirement course certificate of completion. And this is basically our template. So what LifterLMS has introduced here is a concept of templates that you can use. So if you want to change a template, and if you want to sync it, you can see down here across other individual certificates that are using that template, you can do that. This area up here, think of this as just like a name for internal purposes, so that as you're looking through your certificates, you can find the one you're looking for. But the certificate that people actually get is right here. So just at a high level, some of the main things that you can do with this. This is powered by the WordPress block editor. So this area up here is actually a new block that we created for you called the certificate title block. You can see it has various settings associated with it. You could change the font if you wanted to. and the sizes. And let's see here, see how I can just, start modifying it like this. This is like, kind of at the top, something that you can control with the title block with its own color settings and so on. If I wanted that to be a different color, I could. Down here, you can put whatever you want in here, and we'll do one from scratch in a second so you can see what it's like to create a certificate from scratch. LifterLMS has an extremely powerful short code and merge code system that you can use. So that's what this is right here. If you haven't noticed, whenever you're inside of a heading or paragraph, you can insert certain short codes and merge codes. And you can see here, we're actually using the display name, which in WordPress is basically the first name and the last name, to just create this certificate template. Because when somebody gets a certificate, we want them to each get their own unique version that has their name on it. So that's what this is. But you can also have other things show up on the certificate as well, which we're going to look at in a little bit. Notice down here where it says company name. If you're using the LifterLMS custom fields add-on, we'll put a link to that in the chat. You can create your own registration fields and checkout fields that if you need to collect additional information from people as they're purchasing your course or your continuing education program, and let's say their job, like their company needs to see the company name on the certificate, you can collect that information. Chris is asking if he can add a sequential number field. Yes, you can. So let me just jump over and show you that. Over here, right here, is where you can add that. So I don't know if you're the one who was requesting that. There were a lot of people who were requesting that, Chris. But we listen at LifterLMS. So so glad that's there. You can change that next sequential ID. Also in this light, as we're looking at things like, you can see here where I inserted the company name right here. You could also, like on a registration form, if it was, let's say like a real estate continuing education course and somebody needed to put their National Association of Realtor ID number or something on there, you could collect that information as they're registering for the continuing education training and so on. So that is there, which is awesome. We've got some images here. Now, keep in mind, this is, you can design this however you want. You can have whatever background you want. The great thing about the block editor here is, the use of columns. So definitely common at the comment of a certificate to use columns to put signature and other information and images and things like that. So that's there. You can see over here, we're using the certificate background right here to add our certificate background. And you can also set these globally in the settings, which we're going to look at here in a little bit. But let's kind of walk through it here. At the template level, we can award this certificate manually to a user on the site. So let's say somebody, for whatever reason, you want to award it to them manually. Maybe there was something they had to do at an in-person thing to get the final credit, or maybe somebody completed 99% of the course but didn't technically finish it, and you want to give them a certificate anyways. You can just create that. It's gonna use the template. It's gonna create a zone and award that certificate manually. So that's a neat feature. If you get yourself in a mess, you can always reset the template. I'm not going to show you that because this one's already looking good. So we've got size option. So we've got the most popular sizes here. And also to mention, this is probably the standard, at least Well, I don't know. Perhaps in the United States, this is kind of like the standard 8.5 by 11, but we've got the A sizes as well. And also note that if you have LifterLMS Power Pack, we'll put a link to that in the chat. That comes with something called the LifterLMS Graphics Pack, which gives you tons of these certificate backgrounds. You can, of course, design your own and stuff like that. But one of the things that we provide for you is those graphic assets, both certificate backgrounds and also the a bunch of achievement badges, so that you don't have to design your own. So there's a link to that in the chat. If you have the Universe bundle or the Infinity bundle, those both include that. So some people don't realize they have this. So just go log into your account on lifterlms.com, click on downloads from the licenses screen, kind of that first screen, and you'll see at the bottom the graphics pack, and you can download it. I've actually got it right here. So it comes down as a zip file. I've already unzipped it, but you can see here, we've got a bunch of orientations, just essentially mapping to all the sizes that LifterLMS offers. There's several different styles in here that you can do. And you can also set a global default if there's a particular one you really like. So that's the LifterLMS graphics pack. There's literally, I don't know, hundreds of certificates in there that you can check out. And you'll notice these are PNG files. So if you want to not have a white background, you can mix it up. And in this case, when you actually print this, it would have a blue or this color background of the certificate there. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you make your use certificates. They can have a white background or they can have transparent, and you can set everything right here. Also adjust the margins and so on. You can, of course, preview a certificate just like you would in a blog post or course or lesson. And what else we got over here? We got the sequential ID, which Chris super excited about, which is awesome. And this sync option down here is, let's say I updated my logo or this seal of authenticity, and I wanted it to reflect on the awarded certificates that were already out there. That's what the sync option does. So let's kind of look at it on the front end and see some of the awesome features of this in action from the user's perspective. So I'm gonna back out of here and let me know in the chat what you're liking, what you're excited about. Let me know how I'm doing. It's hard to present and drive a website at the same time. Just so I hope everybody's having fun enjoying this, and I'm moving fast enough for you. But here on the front end of the website, on the dashboard, I've got this certificate here. So I want to draw your attention to a couple things kind of below the certificate area as well. So one is this idea of sharing. So we were talking earlier about, if I had a Chris Badgett marketing certificate and somebody wanted to share it with a client who was wondering if they had studied the Chris Badgett method. If you have sharing enabled, I'm going to open an incognito window here. You can see that this is I'm not logged into my website or anything like that. This is a publicly visible certificate on the web. So that can be cool for people being able to share their certificate through the web in this way. Also in that light, this particular site has the LifterLMS PDFs add-on installed, which we also added some awesome innovation to. We'll link up LifterLMS PDFs in the chat, but notice when I click save here, if I have LifterLMS PDFs add-on installed, when this downloads, it comes down as a PDF right here. So I've got my PDF that I can work with right there. So that's a benefit of LifterLMS PDFs. And so basically it sounds simple, but it's not, to create a PDF generation technology from within a website. But the talented dev team at LifterLMS figured it out, and you can create a PDF. In the old version of LifterLMS PDFs, it required a dependency on a third-party service, which had a free plan. But now we figured out a way so that you can just generate the PDF directly from your site with no third party involved, which is a pretty awesome innovation. So if you don't have LifterLMS PDFs, or you have the Infinity bundle and you're not using it yet, and you use certificates, you're definitely going to want to activate that plugin. We've got the print functionality. You can see here if you need to get a paper copy. And then if we go back to all certificates, you can see I'm kind of on the certificates endpoint on my dashboard. So let me see what else we got here. So you can see here, like I'm the site admin. I created this one. So I've got the WordPress, the black bar up here. I can edit the certificate. I'd also like to note, as we go back and look at the certificates on this site, you can see this mention of the word legacy here. So as LifterLMS continues to evolve, we strive to always take care of people that have used a previous version of something of Lifter. So you can actually just click this button right here and migrate the legacy style, which did not include the block editor. And I could start fixing this up right here. And you can see here, this one might be a good, this one is, I was seeing if I could, this is an award. Oh yeah, because I'm looking at an individual awarded certificate. This one's awarded here, so I could start, fixing this one up. So as an example, what I might want to do here is I'm just going to add up here. Let me catch it from right here. Certificate title. So you see this block right here. So that's the block right there. I'm just moving it up to the top. And you can see how, so now I'm using the LifterLMS title block. Obviously I'm going to go through here and kind of fix everything up. And I'm not going to go ahead and like finish this individual certificate completely, but you see how there's a way to migrate somebody's previously earned certificate into the legacy system. So I'm going to jump back out of there. And if we go to the certificates themselves, you can see here, like these are kind of the old versions, if you will. So on this one, I'm just going to click migrate legacy certificate. And you can see this one is this one is an actual template. It's not an individually awarded one. If I were to click the reset template, you can see this is what it's like to go back to scratch. So it's just up to you whether you want to kind of start with a fresh one or try to modify the one that you have. So, and you can see this one is using that background image and so on. So budgeting, I like that. So that's how that works. If you have not updated yet to LifterLMS 6.0, it is important to run the updater. So you know how sometimes when there's an update available and you go through it, you do your staging site, you do your backup and all that stuff, and then sometimes there's a prompt to run the updater. You need to run the updater to handle all the existing certificates you have. So just keep that in mind. And then I want to look at the settings a little bit with you. So if we jump over here into engagements, you can see here, where we have our placeholders. So when people are creating their first certificates, if they don't find the setting, these are the placeholders that are there. You can always update these later. So if I'm, using the LifterLMS graphics pack as an example, and I got all these certificates up here and I want to change it, I might just upload it. And let's say I want to use, this one as my default. So that's uploading. You can see that finished uploading. And now I've changed my default placeholder. So if you're just kind of a set it and forget it kind of person, and you just want to have a global background and you want to maybe change it later and have it update everywhere, this is like this is like kind of like the master setting. But then as you create individual certificates, and if you want to override it or have different backgrounds for different things, you can get as complex as you like. So let me stop there and just see if we have any questions on certificates specifically. We got Chris's question about the sequential number. And I can also show you a little bit on the front end of the student experience when they get the certificate, because we've got some changes there as well. So if you have certificate focused questions before I move on to engagements, go ahead, or achievements, go ahead and ask. But while we're waiting to see if we have any questions there, maybe my presentation was comprehensive and I've covered it all. We do, by the way, also have updated documentation over at LifterLMS. So if you're getting into the nitty-gritty details, our docs have been updated to include the new stuff. So check those out. But let's go award one of these manually and see what it's like. So, all right. So I've got this young retirement certificate template. And just so it's clear what that means, let me just jump to the front real quick here. This demo site has a bunch of courses. We have a course here called Young Retirement. And in this case, the way I set up the engagement is when they complete that lesson, they get the certificate. But you can do it on course completion, or they got to pass a final exam or whatever. There's so many different ways to do it. But going back to the certificates, we've got the Young Retirement Certificate here. And I'm going to jump in there. And I'm going to award one of these manually to a specific user. So we've got Israel here, and I'm going to create the draft. And you can see this is, remember, we're moving from a template to an individual certificate. So I'm going to go ahead and publish that. And Israel has earned that. But if we go to Israel's experience, and this is a little bit of I am using a plugin here called user switching, which is very popular for testing. So I'm going to switch to Israel so we can take a look at what hers looks like. I'm just looking for Israel here. I might need to do a different user. Let me try. I'm using a plugin here called Faker Press, and it gives people like a lot of nicknames and stuff. So I'm just not seeing the Israel one here. But let's do this person right here, Yesenia. And let's try that again. So if we go to our certificates, And we're going to award that to Yesenia, which also goes by Vivian Carroll. And we're going to create that draft. And we're going to publish that. So we have awarded that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to that user. I'm going to switch as if I was this person. And because as I switch to this person, because this will be my first time as this person viewing the site, I should see the engagement pop-up come. So you see how this, I earned this certificate here. So that's an example. This has been updated, what that looks like. And then from the notification, that user can then jump to their individual certificate, turn it into a PDF, share the link with the boss, or do whatever they need to do with it. So it's a pretty slick experience. You know, that was from a manual award, but of course that could all just happen in flow as somebody's going through a course or passing a final exam and that sort of thing. So that's pretty awesome. All right. And we got a question from Jenny. If you manually award the certificate, does it mark the course complete in any way? It does not. Well, it depends. Like if there's a course that is not complete, but you manually give them the certificate, it's not going to affect their progress. That's my understanding of it. What would you like to happen? I'm just curious. But essentially manually awarding is just kind of like going outside of the system and giving somebody a certificate. You could always like use that user switching plugin and manually complete the course for somebody if you wanted to. But if you just want to quickly give somebody a certificate, that's what the manual award is all about. But thanks for the question. Happy to do any more follow-ups on that if you have more clarification there. Cool. So I'm going to switch back. Actually, there we go. So with this user switching plugin, you know, I'm just moving back into my role as the WordPress admin of the site here. So I have all my stuff that I need to access. So let's look at achievements. And before I do that, I just want to take Jenny's question here. Sometimes I have students that complete a course under the wrong account, and I want to put the completed course in their account. I have Lifter Advanced videos, so it's a process to mark everything complete since the videos are locked down. I'd be curious how somebody completes a course under the wrong account. I'm sure it happens. I'm just curious. I'd just like to understand more how that does happen. But yeah, this is currently there's not like a yeah, you and me both. Currently there's not a way to, you know, manually complete a whole course for somebody instantly in that way. So, but I do hear you there, and you wish that was a possibility. They log in and a coworker is already logged in and they don't check. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing. And just while you're on that topic, I don't think this is going to solve it for you, but since we're here on multiple users, where is it? LifterLMS does have some newly added security features. I'm just looking for them right here. I thought they were on the general screen. Let me find it this way. LifterLMS prevent. It's under accounts. Oh, maybe I was just scrolling past it. Oh, here it is. Yep. So here on the accounts page, preventing concurrent logins, it helps a little bit, especially with people. I have seen this as more of an issue with people offering certificates, continuing education credits where people share logins and stuff like that. We do have some features around that that can prevent that. It's not quite what you were looking for, but Jenny is saying that's awesome. So glad that's of use for you. All right. Cool. And let's go look at achievements here. So similar to LifterLMS certificates, achievements, you can see this is the default placeholder showing up since we didn't select one. Also inside the LifterLMS graphics pack, there are a ton of achievement badges. Some of my favorite ones are the illustrated achievement badges. So let me just open some of these up so you can get a sense of what all these are. So these are just example ones that you can use to gamify your site. And this is just like 5-10% of the ones that are in the LifterLMS graphics pack. So I won't scroll through all those for you. There's a couple different styles. But if I were to set my achievement image or my image there, I'm going to do the illustrated ones. So there's like a book. So this was a change here, just moving the achievement badge image itself over to the featured image part of WordPress, leveraging that. Glad you like him, Jack. So crypto course complete is the name of the one. I'm just using it for internal purposes. So congratulations. You did it. So I'm publishing that crypto course complete badge. So I'm going to click publish there. And so the next thing we do is we just set up an engagement. So I'm going to add a new engagement. When a student completes a course, and we're going to do the crypto apps course. So when they complete the crypto apps course, we can award an achievement, award a certificate, send an email, start a private post automation is something that has to do with LifterLMS private areas. We'll put that in the chat. But that's a way to provide private content to a student, particularly like in a coaching context. But in this case, we want to award an achievement, and we're going to add that one we just created, which is the crypto apps achievement badge. We're not going to do any kind of drip or delay. And there's that. So that's just a quick look at the updated LifterLMS achievement badge system, and also how to think about engagements. Keep in mind, we also have a Twilio add-on, which allows you to send text messages at these various trigger points through an integration with Twilio. So you can get pretty fancy with all these different styles of gamification. We also have one that where you can send personalized emails. So that's what these emails are down here. So if I were to add an email template, I can essentially compose an email using this interface right here, just like we're typing into Gmail or Hotmail or whatever. And there's all kinds of personalization I can put in here. I can put a subject line on it. I can BCC somebody, CC somebody, and so on. So this is like the email engagements. So since we've been heavy into the engagements area, that is what that's all about. Cool. So let me jump back to the front end of the site here while I talk and drive. Again, if you want to just like play around with the site, just like I am now, if you haven't purchased LifterLMS yet, or you're thinking about upgrading to the Infinity bundle, and you want to just try out some of the stuff we've been looking at today, you can go to get a LifterLMS $1 trial site. We'll put that link in the chat again. We've got a question we get also whenever we launch something. People are really excited, especially the people that were excited about the features that were just launched, but they also want to know what's coming next. So what's coming next at LifterLMS is work on our access plan system. So if we go into here, the way you create payments and access controls over a course, these are called access plans. So these are getting a major upgrade. So when I'm creating something like a simple one-time payment, I do it like this. I can get fancy, create recurring payments and trials and things like that. This interface is getting an upgrade in tandem with our PayPal 2.0, which is an upgrade to the current PayPal system, which a lot of people have been looking forward to. So that is what's coming next at LifterLMS. And also, I just want to take a moment and go over the LifterLMS pricing. We'll put a link to that in the chat, but during this presentation, I've touched on a lot of different add-ons and different parts of LifterLMS. So the LifterLMS certificate engine, the engagements engine, achievement badges, certificates, this is all included with no matter what you purchase from LifterLMS. We did mention some add-ons today. So let me just jump over to the add-on screen here. We briefly mentioned private areas today, but particularly what we mentioned was around PDFs. So the PDF generation of your certificates comes with the LifterLMS PDFs add-on. We also looked at collecting custom information as people register on the site. That's using, and then printing that data on the certificate, like company name. That's what the custom fields add-on does. We're working on PayPal 2.0. That's what's next. That was the main stuff we were looking at. There is also the LifterLMS Power Pack, which includes the graphics pack. So if you like the certificate backgrounds and achievement badges we were looking at, that's where those come from. And if you go to the LifterLMS pricing page, because we offer a lot of these, most everything is available individually. People can pick and choose, but what most people do is they select one of the two bundles, the Universe bundle or the Infinity bundle. So if you're wondering, what's included in which bundle, you can just scroll down through the handy dandy chart. Like you can see here, the custom fields thing we're looking at is part of the Infinity bundle. It's available individual add-on, but it's also included in the Infinity bundle. We were also looking at PDFs, which is also included in the Infinity bundle. So that's the LifterLMS pricing. Do we have, and Kathy, if you could repost the special offer we have running through Friday. It's the coupon code is SMILE18. So if you're looking to upgrade, check that out. I'm also happy to take any more questions while we're here together. Does anybody have any questions about LifterLMS, particularly around certificates, engagements, gamification, anything I can help you with? If there's other questions about, which product is right for me, or I'm trying to do X, what do you recommend? Happy to take those as well. I do want to thank everybody for coming who is here. I appreciate it. And if we don't have any questions, we are going to draw our winner who just came up, which is Julie Roberts. You're the winner of a free year of one of the $120 a year LifterLMS add-ons. So congratulations to Julie Roberts. Check the chat. There's a link there. Email us at team@lifterlms.com so we can hook you up with the winnings. Yes, she was lucky, Jack. Any other, loving all the new updates. Thanks for resolving so many issues. You guys rock. I appreciate it. It takes a team to do it at LifterLMS. I know you folks see my face a lot, but there's a whole team, and the developers have been working really hard, particularly on this 6.0 release and all these certificate and engagement upgrades. We do have a question in the Q&A box, which I'm going to take. Teresa's saying great product. Thanks. I appreciate that. Emily, thank you. Thanks, Jack. So let me check that question there in the Q&A box. All right. What do we got? Hi, does gamification require more add-ons or plugins over LifterLMS? So it's a great question. So the core LifterLMS plugin comes with certificates and achievements and the email system. So if that's all you need as is, you do not need an additional add-on. What you do need an additional add-on for is if you want to use our certificate backgrounds, like it's called the graphics pack. It's inside your account on lifterlms.com. With all the different certificate styles and whatnot. So that's an add-on. If you want the PDF generation of your certificates, that is an add-on. If you want custom fields, let's actually look at that real quick, because it's actually pretty powerful, pretty awesome. If you go over to LifterLMS forms over here, if somebody's making a purchase from you, like these are the three default forms. Basically, a registration form, a checkout form, and then when somebody updates their information, those are the three forms that come with every LifterLMS site. And you can also add unique ones for different courses and memberships and things if you like as well, with the custom fields add-on. But in here, if you want to collect the company name, looks like I have it right here. So I can collect that data as someone is checking out and buying the course. And then I have that information if I want to print it on a certificate. So that's to be able to create these custom fields is a paid add-on from LifterLMS. So if I open up the side here, you can see these custom user information fields. This is all stuff that LifterLMS custom fields allows you to create. So for example, if I wanted to put, that's a number field, I could require people to like enter your real estate license number. So I'm essentially creating a custom field on my checkout form. So essentially what we talked about today, let me just update that. And then you can see right here where we were adding information to collect. Since my user is already logged in, the whole form is not here, but just for preview purposes, you can see how we're adding custom fields to our registration or checkout. So that's how that works. So essentially today, the main add-ons that may jump out at you, particularly around certificates, we'll just look at them real quick again here, is the PDFs add-on and the custom fields add-on. And then the graphics pack, which is a part of LifterLMS Power Pack. So LifterLMS Power Pack is included in the Universe bundle. But if you want those other two, the PDFs and custom fields, those two are available individually, but they're only in the Infinity bundle. So I hope that answers the question. Cool. Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks for checking out LifterLMS. If you haven't gotten all your questions answered today, feel free to reach out to us. We've got live chat on the site. We've got the contact form. If you're a customer, we've got our support interface as well. So happy to help you. Thanks for checking out LifterLMS 6.0, checking out LifterLMS certificates. Appreciate you taking the time today. Again, use that coupon code SMILE18, all one word, before Friday if you're looking to start a new order on anything. Thanks, John. I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, if you get stuck and need help, just reach out. We're here for you. All right. Well, Kathy, thanks for helping me put this on. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy LifterLMS 6.0.